Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out Ethereum Classic's price chart. And I'm going to, in this update, tell you why, despite the recent strong move down, I am actually now quite bullish. And even I believe this move down can be all part of the bullish process. So, are you ready? Let's dive in and see what is going on. And let's zoom in more first and talk about the recent move on the upside that we are having starting from the lows about $20.9. In my view, so far at least, seems like we are having a very slow move up. And let's just measure it real quick timing wise. This move so far taking us about 130 candlesticks. On the other hand, in about, as you can see, 100 candlesticks, we managed to have this strong move down starting from the highs about $24 to all the way down here around $20.9. So what's the message in here? Seems like despite having way more than enough time, in this specific phase, bulls are actually failing to pull the price all the way back up to these levels, meaning what? Odds are bears are still quite powerful. And you know what? I think soon we may see another move down in ETC in order to take the lows down here. Is it going to be a bad sign though? In my view, probably not, and we are going to get into that in a minute. But before that, if you remember, the last time that we talked about Ethereum Classic, we were right around this area, and the idea was that let's hope this is going to be an A, B, C, a correction structure down, and after it's over, I'm really hoping that we're going to get another 5-wave impulsive structure up in order to complete the subwaves for a beautiful 5-wave on a higher degree. But I said this, look, after this 5-wave up is over, we said most likely we are going to get a move on the downside, because when this move up happened, it was way too fast, and as a result of it, in H1 and also H4 time frame at the same time, we created these two very important gaps, and I believe gaps 95+% of the time are going to get filled. So back then made perfect sense for me to argue one way or the other, whether from the current point or maybe after having another small move up, we are going to get a move down and fill the gaps. And as you can see, we did get our move on the downside, but we didn't actually have before it a beautiful 5-wave up, and I think this might be a bit bullish. Why is that? You see, let's just zoom out a bit more and first talk about what is going on in this phase, because I do believe that probably, excuse me, let's just take this object, starting from here to about this high, we are having an ABC, and yes, since in this phase we took the height of our leg, this is called an ABC flat. Also, I'm thinking this might be a bit of a WXY in form of a double zigzag, or maybe even a flat and a zigzag, doesn't really matter. And this is a strong 5-wave. This can be also yet another 5-wave on the downside. So essentially, I'm thinking this is 1, this is 2, a strong move down into wave 3 correction 4, another move down into wave 5, which by the first look may not be necessarily an optimistic sign, because the rules suggest usually when you see a 5-wave down, that might be the beginning of a new downtrend. And I'm not here to roll out that possibility. No, absolutely not. There is no certainty in any market at any given moment. We are only talking about different possibilities. So this may very well be the beginning of a new downtrend, and for example, after it we can have a consolidation followed by yet another huge continuation of the move down. Do not get me wrong, this scenario can 100% be in play, but I don't think it's actually in play. And according to my primary case, I believe we may actually have something called an ABC flat, which looks like this. This is our initial move down into a correction for wave B, which in it we're going to take this important high, and then another move down into C. And pay attention, if in this phase we are going to take this initial low right in here, we are going to call this pattern an expanded flat. If we are not going to take it, and for example our C leg is going to end right in here, okay, fair enough, this is a run flat. Nonetheless, the subwaves are absolutely similar, and we're gonna have ABC down into A, ABC up into B, and followed by that a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave down into C. Now let's go on the live chart, and I'm going to argue exactly because we didn't get another move on the upside starting from these areas, I am quite bullish, because I don't really believe this move on the upside starting from the lows is anything other than a simple A, B, C, and this can be, excuse me, maybe, I don't know, let's say like another A, C structure down. And well, on a higher degree, what do you have? Probably I'm going to argue an A, B, C in form of a running or maybe an expanded flat, depending on whether we are going to take this importance low about $20.4 or not. And if you remember in the previous video, I specifically said if we get from here another move up and then a 5-wave down in order to take the lows, at that point our bullish scenario overall is going to get invalidated, because we're going to say this is a beautiful looking ABC zigzag. However, right now I'm even comfortable going down and taking the lows, and even at that point I'm thinking we are going to overall remain optimistic in Ethereum Classic, because on a higher degree we may end up having a wave 1, correction for 2, and what's next if this count is hopefully happening? You know the answer, huge move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5. So this is why, despite the recent move on the downside, I would like to still be quite bullish on Ethereum Classic. It's just the fact that maybe in the short term we should expect another move down. It's not necessarily going to be the worst sign in the world. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in ETC. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.